The 2023 NFL Draft is officially over, and the Cincinnati Bengals have added 8 players to their roster. I gotta say, I think they did a good job of going out to get the guys they needed. It's been a long weekend. It's been all over the place, but props to the Bengals for getting the job done, for making it through the 3 days of the draft. Now, don't forget, there will be UDFA signings, undrafted free agents. Those will start rolling in any minute now, and we will have a video for you guys on all of those UDFAs tomorrow, so make sure you stick with us. Let's go over all of the Bengals selections here. Remember, their first round pick was Myles Murphy, which was a little confusing. I know some people had questions on what the heck that was about. This was a good pick. He was still on the board at 28. That's not a player you really pass up. Then we grabbed DJ Turner in the second at number 60 on day 2, followed by Jordan Battle, safety out of Bama, in round 3 at number 95 overall. Really solidified that defense on day 1 and day 2. Today, day 3, they started off grabbing a receiver in Charlie Jones out of Purdue in round 4. Moving on to round 5, they went ahead and grabbed that running back. I know there were a lot of questions about the running back room on the Bengals roster. They added some depth there with Chase Brown in round 5. Followed by Andrei Iosivas, another receiver from Princeton, in round 6. Again, they had a second round 6 pick from that trade with the Chiefs on day 2. Grabbed Brad Robbins, a punter out of Michigan, who was actually at Michigan for about 6 years. Kind of looks a little bit older than the rest of the guys on the screen right now, but hey, we're not knocking age. No hate here. Grabbed a punter, and then finally rounded out day 3, finished in the 7th round with some more defensive help in DJ Ivey, a cornerback out of Miami. Again, 8 guys added to the roster here. Let me know in the comment section who your favorite Bengals draft pick of 2023 was. If you want to go ahead and let me know who your all-time favorite Bengals draft pick was, you can do that as well. I'm biased. I went to LSU. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase have my heart. Great guys. Go Tigers. But let me know who your favorite pick was this year. I got to say, I really don't know where I stand on this one. I want to say Myles Murphy is the obvious choice here, but I think they did a good job with DJ Turner. Even grabbing Chase Brown may have been a sleeper pick. So let me know what you think down in that comment section. I will be sure to read all of those comments. We're going to break down each individual pick just a little bit. Now, I did release videos on all of these picks prior. They have their own videos. Some of them are paired together, but if you want to go look at those, they are on the channel. They're a little bit more in depth than what we're going to do here now. But hey, I'll give them all grades for you, because why not? Myles Murphy, first round pick. I like this move. It wasn't necessarily a huge need. It was a need, but not a huge one. I think, like I said earlier, this was, gosh, he's still on the board. Can't pass him up. And I think that's why Myles Murphy is a Bengal. He's a great edge. Tom Downey actually had him ranked as the 4th best edge in this draft class, and I think the Bengals got a good one here. That defense is going to be looking pretty good in 2023, because then they grabbed DJ Turner out of Michigan. It's a fast guy. I think you really needed some help on the secondary. You lost a lot of guys in free agency. If you didn't, it was a no-brainer that you had to go out and get some help, because the Pasty last season struggled a little bit, even with Jesse Bates, Von Bell. I think bringing in guys like DJ Turner and then Jordan Battle were good moves. I'm going to give DJ Turner, I give Myles Murphy an A for sure. Forgot to give that grade. DJ Turner, I'd give B plus A, right? We're in this range, and I think we're in the A-B range for really all of these picks. Jordan Battle, not a bad pick. 7th best safety in the draft class. They started to really hammer the defense, and I know there were questions about, what about a tight end? What about a running back? What about this, that, and the other, right? No offensive line. I think this is when I was like, okay, what are we doing? Grabbed a corner and a safety on day 2. Jordan Battle out of Bama, not a bad decision. I'll go ahead and give that a B. maybe a B minus, just because maybe you start to look elsewhere. I did say on day 2 they were hammering the defense, and I thought that they would start looking towards the offense on day 3, and they did exactly that when they grabbed wide receiver Charlie Jones in the 4th round at 131 overall. A little bit of a sleeper here. I think this is a depth move. Remember, Tyler Boyd is on his last year of his contract. They're going to have to start looking to either extend Boyd, which I don't think happens. I think that's why they actually grabbed Charlie Jones in the 4th round on day 3. I think he will kind of not learn, but develop a little bit. You may see him in the offense used somewhat this season, but I think this is more of a let's get you prepared to take over for Tyler Boyd once he is no longer with the Bengals. We'll continue on with some grades for the rest of the picks, but I got to tell you, this is the place to be. We had nonstop coverage for you guys on this channel, making sure we were getting videos out. You knew everything the Bengals were doing during the draft, all the picks they made. They made 8, and we were hammering y'all with content. I'm tired. I look exhausted, but this is my job. I enjoy it, and do me a favor, just hit the sub button. This is free content. You can just pop onto YouTube, type in the Bengals Breakdown, and you've got everything you need right here. Hit the sub button. Let's grow the channel. Hopefully get to some live shows. If you grow the channel, we'll have more content coming at you for the rest of the offseason into the actual season itself. Moving on to the next guy that the Bengals went out and grabbed, a running back. Now, leading up to the draft, we talked a lot about could they go after Jahmyr Gibbs? I know there were rumors about them trading up for Bijan Robinson. It was kind of crazy to even really say out loud, but it didn't happen. We didn't think it would happen. It was just kind of a fun idea to play with. They did, however, grab a running back. Smart move considering the current state of the running back room. You lost Samaje Perine. Joe Mixon's current status with the Bengals is up in the air, right? We don't know if he's going to be on the roster. It looks like he will. This looks like a depth move and kind of preparing Chase Brown to kind of take over and pair him in the backfield with Mixon and let him develop so that he can become RB1. I don't know if they will continue on with Joe Mixon. These are questions that once we know, you will know about it if you subscribe to the channel. But Chase Brown is definitely a good move here. He's explosive. He's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of upswing here. I think he'll be a good part of this offense, especially in the future. Then they grabbed another receiver, and I'm not against it at all. Late on the round, or later in the draft, in later rounds, when you have a roster that is pretty solid, you've fixed your glaring needs at the beginning on the defense, you can kind of play around. You can go out and get 2 receivers for future use. Now, this is a guy that will need time to develop, but he's fast, he's big, and he's smart. Obviously, he went to Princeton. Come on. This is a good addition. Now, again, this is probably a future move. He will need some time to develop and get acclimated to the NFL, as do most of these guys. But future depth move here, especially considering you grabbed Charlie Jones, and you're hoping that maybe he can take over for Tyler Boyd, but you have another option in Andrei Iosivas in case maybe he steps up and passes Charlie Jones. Another sleeper. Bengals did a really good job this draft, I will say. Then you moved on to a punter in the 6th round. Is that crazy? No, it's not crazy. 49ers, like I said, went out and grabbed a kicker in the 3rd. That's a little crazy. Grabbing a punter in the 6th, not totally out the box. He was at Michigan for 6 years. He's got good hang time. I think Tom Downey called him a finesse kind of guy. He kind of gets it done. Finesse, you know? I mean, not much to say other than that he is a punter. Bengals, not the first time they've gone out and got somebody like this. Evan McPherson was drafted, I believe, in the 5th round. Coop told me 2 years ago, he reminded me that this is kind of an MO for the Bengals. They like to grab these guys in the draft, and not a bad move. I'm not against it. Again. And then they finished the draft with DJ Ivey, corner out of Miami in the 7th round. This is late in the round. You've got 8 picks. You might as well add some depth there because you did see so many guys leave during the offseason. Depth moves. You've got, in case injuries occur, you've got guys now. Your depth is stacked up. You've just got options. And it's really nice to have options on an already pretty good roster. Now you've got even more depth in multiple positions. Now I do want to address the fact that they didn't go get a tight end, and they didn't really do anything with the O-line, which I'm sure people are going to have lots to say about that. The O-line is in question because the Jonah Williams trade request is still up in the air. It doesn't look like he'll be traded. Lael Collins' recovery is still up in the air. I don't want to say it doesn't look like, but we don't know if he'll be back and ready for week 1. Maybe you could have drafted an offensive lineman, but you did just add Cody Ford. You're not in terrible standings. And remember, you still have UDFA signings coming at you, so don't be surprised if you see a couple offensive linemen signed then. As far as the tight end situation goes, Irv Smith is on a 1-year prove-it deal. Okay, it looks like they think he's the guy. Not to mention, this offense is efficient. It is high productivity, good level. You know what I'm trying to say. They are excellent, right? They've gotten it done in the past. Yes, Hayden Hurst is no longer there. He did have a good chemistry. He did a lot for the Bengals, but I don't think they were targeting a tight end as much as the media wanted to tell you. And we did talk a lot about tight ends because there were some really good tight ends in the draft this year, but I think they are really riding with Irv Smith and kind of banking on their offense to continue the way it has. When you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, maybe Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, you're in pretty good shape. So I wouldn't be too bent over the fact that they did not go out and draft a tight end. Again, UDFA signings, there's a lot of room for these guys to be signed. And sometimes you get some of the best players in these undrafted signings. I think I saw a statistic that about a fourth of the active NFL players right now were undrafted free agents. So don't lose hope. Those tight ends, offensive linemen could absolutely be signed. And if they are, we will let you know about it. Grade the Bengals draft. How do you think they did in 2023? Honestly, I'm going to give it an A-. And some of you might be like, what are you talking about? This sucked. You're entitled to your opinion. I think they did a very good job of looking at, okay, defense is where we really need to get strong. We really got to cover our bases. Let's prioritize that, and then we'll move to offense. I think that was the play here, and I think it was smart. You go out and get Myles Murphy because you can't pass him up if he's still on the board at 28. Good move. And then you secure the secondary. And then you shift over to the offense and you start planning for the future with receivers and running backs because day 3 is for that. Day 3 is for depth and kind of taking chances on guys that could be the next big thing. That's exactly what the Bengals did. And I mean, you've got your 8th pick in the 7th round. Why not grab some more help for the secondary? I like it. I say A- solely because no offensive line or tight end was addressed. I don't think it's terrible that they didn't address it, but I can't give it an A+, so I'm going to give it an A-. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Feel free to elaborate. I do read the comments. I don't just post these videos and never look at them again. I like feedback from you guys. I enjoy hearing from y'all. As always, we appreciate y'all for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us for the draft. Like I said, we will have more content coming at y'all once those UDFA signings do happen. We'll keep you updated. Hit that sub button. We'll see y'all soon.